Hello everybody and welcome to the final part of episode 2 of System Update. For the last part of E3 week, we're going to be talking about the Ubisoft press conference and what I thought about it and what I thought about the games they showed off. So let's jump right into it. They kicked off the conference by talking about the new South Park game, The Fractured Butthole. Let's see what they did there. I am unbelievably excited for this game because South Park Stick of Truth is one of my favorite video games of all time. On my Steam page, I have sunk 70 hours into that game, possibly more at this point. I've played through that game 8 times. I love that game with all my heart, and I'm just gasming at the fact that there's going to be a sequel, this time where you play as Coon and friends. You're still the new kid, so I'm not sure how they're going to go about you being your own superhero. But anyway, Coon and friends this time, no longer going to be the fighters of Zaron. This time, you're going to get to be a superhero, still going to be the new kid. According to them, it's going to pick up where the last game left off. Like I said, very excited for this game. South Park Stick of Truth is one of my favorite games I've ever played. It's an amazing game, and I'm hoping Fractured Butthole is going to be just as amazing, if not more amazing. Next, they talked about their new IP, For Honor. For Honor is sort of like, if you ever heard of the game Chivalry, it's like Chivalry, but massive scale, where there's a whole battlefield and there's AI running around and fighting things, but the main focus is on the, I believe, 4v4 player versus player gameplay, player versus player, and AI mixed in there also. Big AI, sort of like what Titanfall is, where you've got your actual players, and then you have like 20 AIs run in there and start fighting each other. This game looks really cool. From what I've heard, you could play it at E3, but I wasn't actually at E3, so I could never play the game. From what I've heard, it is very fun. It is Knights versus Vikings versus Samurai. I'm not entirely sure if those took place in the same time period, but even if they didn't, that's still awesome, because who doesn't want to be a samurai fighting Vikings and knights? That just sounds awesome. The game also looks graphically amazing. It looks pretty good. A lot of the games, I haven't noticed any real game shown off at E3 this year that didn't look beautiful in every way. Next, they talked about their Crew expansion. The Crew, remember this game? Probably not, because it didn't do too well. The Crew sold very well, I think, but player count and who stuck around with it, that wasn't very high. But they are releasing a new expansion. I couldn't tell if this is a standalone expansion or just an expansion to the Crew itself. The way they presented it sort of seemed like it was a brand new game, but, they called it an expansion. So I don't really know. It's called Wild Run, and it's going to introduce a bunch of new cars. It looked like they were focusing on off-road, because I think there are some monster trucks or motorcycles, I'm pretty sure, and a bunch of other cool stuff. I've never been too interested in the Crew. Heard the game was okay. Nothing too spectacular, but, I might give it a try. I've heard, like I said, I've heard the Crew is not an amazing game. Speaking of racing, they talked about Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max. I like to call it Internet the video game. Let me break down the trailer for you. It is a fire-breathing unicorn, I believe, being ridden by a cat with rainbows, with like triple rainbows going off in the background, and probably some explosions thrown in there. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's no gameplay. However, I'm just gonna assume right now it is a reskin Trials Fusion, because there was no gameplay. All we saw was a cat riding a fire-breathing unicorn. That's all we saw. Just a 3D render trailer of that, which looks awesome, but I'm not completely sure if it's going to be that different than Trials Fusion. Of course, we can't know until we see official gameplay. However, that wasn't shown. They showed off The Division once again, this time showing off their new Dark Zone game mode. basically, the Dark Zone, from what I understand, is various areas of the game which are apart from the main campaign, where players either cooperate or attack each other for loot. In these Dark Zones, there is a lot of good loot, according to them, but if you die, or if you're killed, this loot is taken away from you permanently, unless you take the loot to an extraction point, in which it will be extracted, and now the loot is permanently binded to your character. However, if you don't do that, and you get killed with all your good loot, you'll lose all that loot to the player who killed you. Basically, either you can cooperate with your friends to find really good loot and extract it immediately, or you could play against you can make a team and try to fight other players to try to take their good loot and then extract it, or you can go solo and just debag everybody, because, you know, that's fun. I always love being the bad guy in video games. So, this looks pretty fun. Like everything else here, it looks pretty fun. I do like games that sort of, there's a risk to dying. Like, if you die, you lose everything, so you probably want to extract, you know, if not frequently, you know, frequently enough so that you don't lose all your stuff. Or maybe, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people running around there, specifically in the Dark Zone, just to kill you, not even take your loot, just kill you and make you lose it. I'm sure there are gonna be people like that. I'm probably gonna be that guy. But once again, it looks fun. I learned a little bit more about The Division, if you guys remember last time, or if you've stuck with these 3 episodes. I didn't know a lot about The Division, and I kind of skipped over and went straight to Rainbow Six Siege. They showed off Anno 2205. It is a futuristic city builder in which you start a civilization on Earth, and then you can make your way up to the moon. I'm not sure if you can go past that. They didn't really show that off in the trailer, if you can go past the moon. But basically, it's a city builder, like SimCity or any other of one of those games where you have to manage resources and make your civilization the best it can be and make your way to the moon. That's what they were showing off. They were really showing off. They were really proud of the fact that you can go to the moon. You don't start on the moon, though. They also made a point of that. Looks good, very graphically nice, but, you know, it could just be another city builder, and recent city builders, or at least the recent SimCity game, I guess, which isn't that recent at this point, wasn't that good. And, you know, city builders is sort of something that's been done a lot before, and I think ideas are starting to run out, but I don't play a lot of city builders. I've only played like 2 or 3, and I cannot even name what those ones were. So I don't know a lot about it, but it's a city builder, so if you like those types of games, it's here. Just Dance 2016, everybody's excited for this, right? Right? Basically, Just Dance 2016, it's Just Dance. But if you do not own a camera system for your console or whatever, you can now connect your phone to your console and use that as like a Wii remote for Just Dance games. Here's the thing about Just Dance. I'm pretty sure if anybody actually cared about Just Dance, the people who actually care about Just Dance probably already own one of those camera systems, because that's like the only game you can use it with, and, you know, various other bad dance games. Then they had Jason Derulo come on and start singing and dancing up there with his new song, God, what's it called? Want to Want You? Is that what it's called? I don't know. I don't keep up with that. But he came on, performed. It doesn't seem like anybody cared, though. I didn't. I doubt most of those people there are big music buffs. So it didn't really look like the audience was like, whoa, Jason Derulo. It seemed like they were like, why is this guy coming on to our video game press conference and singing about getting down on women. Anyway, that happened, and they also announced Just Dance streaming, in which you can stream unlimited songs, so endless content for Just Dance, but only if you buy their subscription plan. This is being a common theme in games recently. Subscriptions, season passes, all this. Cut it. I don't want to buy a $60 game then have to spend another whatever amount of money to play my unfinished game. I think Just Dance streaming should come with Just Dance. And I don't really care about this because I'm not even buying Just Dance, but it's still stupid that it's having a subscription service, a monthly subscription service for a game that already doesn't even have the value of $60. I think that's the stupidest thing ever. I think games need to cut that out, especially games like Just Dance. Like I said, that game's not even really worth $60, and now I'm gonna have to pay $60, you know, play whatever songs are there, other than spend more money to get more songs that are bad. It's stupid. So, Just Dance, don't care, subscription plans, retarded. They showed off the Rainbow Six Siege Terra Hunt game mode, player versus AI, in which you must invade a house, take back an invaded house filled with terrorists, defuse a bomb, then get out, trying to, you know, not cause as much attention as possible, which looks very difficult. According to them, during rehearsal, they never won a single game, which is very surprising, but also that game requires some strategy, so I see why. It looks as fun as their multiplayer mode. This Terror Hunt will be available solo or co-op, so however you want to play it. If you have friends to play it with, you can play it co-op. If you just want to play it alone, you can play it solo. I'm not sure if you'll play it solo with 4 other AI, or if it's completely solo and you just, for some reason, they thought it was a good idea to send you alone against a house full of terrorists and defuse a bomb and get out there alive. You know, not sure who thought that was a good idea. They showed off TrackMania Turbo for the console finally. It's been out for PC, they said, for a while, but now it's coming to the next-gen consoles. It looks like another racing game, sort of F-Zero style racing, like fast-paced, very twisty tracks sort of game. It's first person or third person, however you want to play it. I'm not too excited for this. However, they did show off a special feature of the game in which if there's 200 tracks, they said, by default. Not sure how varied these tracks are going to be, but there's 200 of them. If you do manage to get through all 200 of those tracks, which it seemed like the tracks were short, so, you know, I won't really see that as being much of a challenge to get through all 200, but they also have a track builder, which, you know, sounds pretty standard. You can share your tracks with other people, but this track builder also can randomize tracks and build these tracks right in front of you as if somebody was controlling the track builder, which sounds really cool. It sounds like it's gonna have endless tracks if they can really make the randomizer completely, you know, random. So that's another game that if you really wanted to, you could play that game for a while and have the tracks still be varied without a subscription plan. Just Dance 2016. They talked about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I've never cared too much for the Assassin's Creed games. I don't think they're good games, so I kind of stopped playing it around Assassin's Creed 3 after that, you know. And I heard Black Flag came out, which was really good according to most people. Then Assassin's Creed Unity came out, and it went right back down to what I think of Assassin's Creed, which is not good games. However, I do like the time and place of Assassin's Creed. I like the whole Victorian London setting, and I like the fact that you have your own street gang, which looks really, really cool. Like, have, you know, Victorian gang fights. That looks fun. But other than that, it's Assassin's Creed. This time you can play as a male and female character, something that you could never have done in the last few games. You could only play as a male character, none of which I liked. That's another reason I don't like the Assassin's Creed games. I don't like the characters that are in it. They never showed off anything about the female character, though. They didn't even show any gameplay. They just showed a pre-rendered trailer of the dude running around doing his gang stuff and doing his Assassin's Creed stuff and whatnot, which looked really fun still. I'm going to give Assassin's Creed Syndicate a chance. Like I said, I stopped playing it around 3, but, you know, I'll try Syndicate because it looks cool. It looks better than the last games have been, in my opinion. However, I don't know. I'm going to have to try it out. Like I said, no gameplay was shown off, but I'll give it a chance. The final game they showed off was Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. This game is the latest installment in the Ghost Recon series, in which you enter Bolivia, South America, and you are sent in to put a stop to a big drug cartel, a big cocaine exchange going on. You're sent in to put a stop to that. It is entirely open world to the point in which you can do anything you want in any order you want. Every decision, every action you make is going to make a huge difference in the world, according to them. I'm not sure how completely true this is, but according to them, everything you do is going to be some big important thing, and every, the entire open world is available to you right from the start, and you can just go in and go crazy. So, that's about all we know about this game, other than the fact that it looks gorgeous. Like all the other games shown off at E3, it looks gorgeous. Just like all Tom Clancy's games, I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to The Division, now that I kind of looked up. Looking forward to the Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm looking forward to Ghost Recon Wildlands. This game looks really good. However, other than, what I just explained, there's not a lot known about it. So, we have finally concluded E3 week. 3 parts this week, which is a lot. That's a lot that I had to do. So there's not going to be a system update on Monday. However, that next Monday, you better believe there will be one. So Ubisoft showed off a lot of good games, some of which I don't care about, like Just Dance or Assassin's Creed Syndicate. But most of which I'm pretty excited about. I'm pretty excited about Ghost Recon and definitely South Park. South Park was probably was the icing on the cake. Except this is the most minimalistic cake, and the icing is like an Eiffel Tower of icing. I'm so excited for the South Park game. So, I think that's going to wrap up this very, very long episode of System Update. Once again, I don't have an official outro quite yet. I'm gonna have to work that out. Hopefully, in the next, as this show goes on, I'll get better at talking, because I was not that great at it on any of these episodes. But I don't know. If you guys are watching this to the end, clearly you thought it was entertaining in some way, shape, or form, and I thank you for that. So, until next time, that's all. Goodbye.